The world isn't kind to women who wait. Strength isn't given, it's taken. If you don't build yourself up, the world will break you down. So ask yourself, are you ready to become a woman who walks in power? If not, 2025 will eat you alive. Life doesn't hand you a script where you always win. No one wakes up one day and just becomes strong. No woman is born fearless. No girl is handed a crown and told, here, rule the world. You either take control of your story or let the world write it for you. And trust me, if you let others write it, they'll make you the side character in your own damn life. Think about it. How many times have you been told you're not good enough? This is not meant for you. Stay in your lane. Be realistic. You've heard it. I've heard it. Every powerful woman you admire has heard it. And do you know the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't? The ones who win tear up the old script and write their own. Picture this. There's a girl who's been told all her life that she's too much, too loud, too opinionated, too ambitious. Every time she shares her dreams, someone laughs and says, be careful, don't aim too high, you'll just get disappointed. So what does she do? She starts making herself smaller. She dims her light. She stops dreaming big because she's scared of looking foolish. She becomes quiet, polite, agreeable. And you know what happens? She fades into the background of her own life. Then one day she wakes up and realizes no one is coming to save her. No one is going to come and say, hey, let me fix your life. Let me push you to greatness. No, that's her job. It's your job. The day you realize this is the day you become dangerous. Let me ask you something. If your life was a book, would you be excited to read it? Or would it be boring? Would it be a story of a girl who played it safe, lived on other people's terms, did what was expected of her, and never really took a risk? Or would it be the story of a girl who rewrote the rules, shocked the world, and became something no one ever expected? You think the strongest women you admire were just lucky? No. They took a pen and wrote a new chapter when the world tried to keep them stuck in an old one. Oprah was told she was too emotional for TV. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Rihanna was told to stay in her lane when she launched Fenty Beauty. Imagine if they had listened. Imagine if they had said, maybe they're right. But they didn't. And neither should you. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. I don't care if you were broke yesterday. I don't care if someone left you heartbroken last year. I don't care if people doubted you. If you are still breathing, you can still reinvent yourself. You can still take control. You can still turn the page and say, this is not how my story ends. You need to walk like you are the main character of your life. Do you think a queen waits for someone to tell her she's a queen? No. She walks like one before the world even recognizes it. So, start acting like the woman you want to become. Stop waiting for the right time, the right people, the right circumstances. The right time is when you decide. Think about that girl who went through a breakup and let it destroy her. She cried for months, stalked his Instagram, kept replaying old conversations. And then think about the girl who got her heart broken and used that pain to level up. She hit the gym, focused on her career, became unstoppable. Same situation, different choices. You have to be the girl who chooses strength every single time. Rewrite your story like a girl who refuses to be a victim, like a girl who refuses to be an afterthought, like a girl who walks into every damn room and makes people feel her presence before she even says a word. Your parents' struggles are not your destiny. Your ex's opinion of you is not your truth. Your past failures are not your future. You are not stuck unless you choose to be. You are not powerless unless you surrender your power. Stop telling yourself, this is just how I am. No, this is how you've been. The question is, who do you want to become? Because you can wake up tomorrow and decide to be unrecognizable. You can wake up tomorrow and rewrite everything. Rip up the script. Set the old version of yourself on fire. Be so strong in 2025 that people who doubted you don't even recognize you anymore. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build brick by brick, decision by decision. It's not about having all the answers. It's about walking into any room and knowing I belong here, even when the world tells you otherwise. Think about the last time you doubted yourself. Maybe you wanted to speak up in a meeting, but you stayed silent. Maybe you wanted to post something, but you deleted it because you were scared of judgment. Maybe you saw someone living the life you wanted, and instead of feeling inspired, you felt small. That's what a lack of confidence does. It keeps you trapped in your own mind, questioning yourself at every step. But here's the truth. No one is coming to hand you confidence. No one is going to walk up to you and say, hey, here's a bottle of self-belief. Drink up. You build it, you earn it, and you don't do it by waiting to feel ready. You do it by taking action before you feel ready. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about being scared as hell, but doing it anyway. Do you think Beyoncé steps on stage without nerves? Do you think Serena Williams has never questioned herself before a big match? Do you think any powerful woman you admire never had moments of doubt? Of course they have. But they show up anyway. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them unstoppable. Imagine a girl who walks into a room and shrinks herself. She hunches her shoulders. She avoids eye contact. She speaks softly, like she's afraid to take up space. Now imagine another girl who walks into the same room, back straight, head high, like the world is hers to command. Same person, different energy. And guess what? The world will always respond to the energy you bring. People treat you how you present yourself. Walk like you matter, and people will believe it. Do you know why most people lack confidence? Because they are too focused on what others think. But let me tell you something. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you think they are. Everyone is too busy worrying about themselves. You're over here stressing about what someone might say about you, and that person is stressing about what someone else might say about them. It's a cycle of insecurity, and it's pointless. The most confident people you see, they aren't always the most talented, the most beautiful, or the most intelligent. But they believe in themselves so fiercely that the world has no choice but to believe in them too. Think about that one girl who always gets what she wants. She walks into any situation like she owns it. She isn't waiting for someone to validate her. She validates herself. She applies for the job she isn't 100% qualified for. She walks up to that person she admires and introduces herself. She takes risks. And because of that, she keeps winning. Not because she's luckier than you, but because she believes she deserves it. And let me tell you something. Confidence is magnetic. You ever notice how some people just have this glow? Like when they walk into a room, they don't even have to say a word, but people feel their energy. That's confidence. It's not about being loud or arrogant. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't need external validation. Confidence isn't about how you look. It's about how you carry yourself. You ever see a woman who isn't conventionally beautiful, but something about her just makes her irresistible? That's because confidence is the most attractive thing a person can wear. You don't need a designer bag. You don't need a perfect body. You don't need approval. You just need to own who you are. And confidence comes from doing hard things, from proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable. Every time you face a fear and push through it, your confidence grows. Every time you stand up for yourself, it grows. Every time you stop apologizing for existing, it grows. You know that feeling when you put on your best outfit and you just know you look good? That's not about the clothes. That's about the way you feel in them. Imagine if you could feel that way all the time, without needing an outfit, without needing anyone's approval, just because you know who you are. Confidence is built in the small moments. When you stop saying, I'm sorry, for things you shouldn't be sorry for. When you stop over-explaining yourself. When you stop waiting for permission to take up space. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to trust yourself. To know that even if you fail, you will rise. To walk into every space like you belong there. Because you do. Money is not just paper. It's power. It's freedom. It's the difference between being able to walk away from a toxic situation and being forced to stay because you have no other choice. It's the ability to say, I don't need you, I choose me. Financial freedom is not about greed, it's about control. It's about never having to beg for your worth, never having to shrink yourself to survive, never having to say yes to things that insult your soul just because you need a paycheck. Think about it. How many women stay in unhappy relationships because they can't afford to leave? How many stay in jobs they hate because they're afraid of losing security? How many bite their tongues, tolerate disrespect, put up with nonsense because they don't have the financial power to walk away? When you don't have money, you don't have options. And when you don't have options, the world owns you. But when you have your own money, your own resources, your own ability to take care of yourself, you become untouchable. You don't have to tolerate mistreatment. You don't have to say yes to things that drain you. You don't have to wait for anyone to save you. You are your own savior. Think about the girl who always has to ask for permission. She wants to take a trip, but she has to ask someone else for money. She wants to buy something, but she has to justify the cost. She wants to invest in herself, but she's waiting for approval. Now, think about the girl who has her own financial power. She books the flight without hesitation. She invests in her dreams without guilt. She walks into a store and buys what she wants. Not because she's reckless, but because she has built a life where she doesn't have to seek permission to live. Same woman, different choices, different levels of power. Financial freedom isn't about impressing people. It's not about flashy cars or designer bags. It's about waking up every day and knowing you are in control. It's about knowing that if you want to leave, you can. If you want to say no, you can. If you want to change your life, you can. It's about peace of mind. No more losing sleep over bills. No more relying on someone else's generosity. No more playing small because you are scared of not having enough. You ever notice how the most confident women are the ones who don't need anything from anyone? It's not because they don't want love or support. It's because they don't need to beg for it. They don't stay where they are not valued. They don't tolerate nonsense. They don't let money be the reason they stay in situations beneath them. And here's the truth. No one is going to hand you financial freedom. No one is going to say, here, let me make you rich. You have to go and take it. You have to learn. You have to be smart. You have to think beyond just making money. You have to think about growing it, multiplying it, protecting it. The world teaches women to be dependent, to rely on someone else to take care of them. But strong women break that cycle. Strong women say, I will never put my survival in someone else's hands. Think about that girl who spends every dollar she makes living paycheck to paycheck, hoping that one day things will change. Now think about the girl who saves, who invests, who makes smart moves. The girl who understands that every dollar is a soldier in her army. The girl who doesn't just work for money but makes money work for her. Same situation. Different mindsets. One stays stuck, the other builds an empire. And let's be clear, financial freedom is not just for the rich. It's for the smart. It's for the ones who educate themselves. It's for the ones who stop wasting money on things that don't matter and start focusing on building a future. It's for the ones who don't just dream, but plan. The world respects women who have their own. The world listens to women who don't need to beg. You want real confidence? You want real security? Then make sure your money is in order. Make sure you can stand on your own. Make sure you are in control of your life. Because at the end of the day, no one should have the power to decide your future except you. There's a difference between being guarded and being locked away. Life will test you. People will hurt you. Some will take advantage of your kindness. Some will break promises. And some will leave without a second thought. But here's the truth. You can't let pain turn your heart into stone. You can't let betrayal make you believe love isn't real. You can't let disappointments convince you that you're better off alone. Imagine a girl who once loved with all her heart. She gave her trust so easily. She believed in people without hesitation. And then She got hurt. Maybe it was a friend who turned into a stranger. Maybe it was a love story that ended in heartbreak. Maybe it was family who should have protected her, but didn't. And now, she builds walls. Not just boundaries, walls so high that no one can climb them. She thinks she's protecting herself, but in reality, she's imprisoning herself. And then there's another girl. She's been hurt too. She knows pain. She's faced betrayal. She's felt heartbreak so deep it almost made her believe love wasn't worth it. But she made a different choice. She didn't close herself off from the world. She became wiser, not colder. She learned to see people for who they are, not who she wanted them to be. She set boundaries, but she never lost her softness. She learned to protect her heart without shutting it down. Same experiences, different outcomes. One girl lives in fear, the other in freedom. Pain is a great teacher, but only if you learn the right lesson. Some people take pain and let it turn them bitter. They stop trusting, stop believing, stop allowing themselves to feel. But real strength is choosing to heal without losing your ability to love. It's knowing that not everyone deserves access to your heart, but also knowing that some people do. Think about the most powerful women you admire. They've all been through something. They've all had moments where they questioned themselves, where they felt used, where they had to pick up the pieces of a broken heart. But they didn't let that pain turn them into someone they weren't. They didn't let the wrong people stop them from finding the right ones. There's a difference between being careful and being closed. When you're careful, you observe, you learn to read people. You don't rush into situations blindly. You trust, but you verify. But when you're closed, you assume the worst in everyone. You push away good people because of the mistakes of bad ones. You build a fortress around your heart and call it self-protection, but deep down it's fear. A woman who protects her heart knows her worth. She doesn't let just anyone in. She doesn't entertain people who don't respect her. She doesn't tolerate nonsense. But she also doesn't let past pain define her future. She understands that the right people exist, that not everyone is out to hurt her, that love, real love, is still possible. Have you ever seen someone who refuses to let anyone get close? They wear their independence like armor, but inside, they're lonely. They convince themselves they don't need anyone, that relationships are a waste of time, that friendships always end in disappointment. But deep down, they crave connection. They want to be seen, to be understood, to be loved. They just don't know how to let anyone in without feeling like they're risking everything. And then there's the woman who has been hurt but still loves deeply. She still laughs, still believes, still gives people a chance. Not because she's naive, but because she refuses to let pain define her. She knows how to say no. She knows when to walk away. But she also knows when to stay. She knows that closing herself off won't prevent pain. It will only prevent joy. Yes, protect your heart. Not everyone deserves access to it. Not everyone deserves your kindness, your energy, your trust. But don't let pain turn you into someone who can't feel. Because the strongest women aren't the ones who shut themselves off from the world. They're the ones who have been hurt, but still choose to love. They're the ones who have been betrayed, but still believe in goodness. They're the ones who have seen darkness, but still choose to bring light. Powerful women move in silence. The most dangerous thing you can do is let everyone know your next move. In a world where people are watching, waiting, and sometimes even hoping for you to fail, your best weapon is privacy. Keep them guessing. Keep them wondering. Because the less they know, the less they can attack. Think about the woman who tells everyone her dreams, her plans, her relationships, her struggles. She believes that people will celebrate her. She believes that they will be happy for her. But what happens? Some listen just to gossip. Some pretend to cheer her on, but secretly hope she falls. Some take notes, not to help her, but to copy her. She wonders why things never work out, why she always feels drained, why the energy around her never seems right. The answer? She gave too much away. Now think about the woman who moves in silence. She doesn't announce her every step. She doesn't seek validation from the world. She builds, she works, she creates. And when she finally speaks, it's because she has results to show. No one saw her struggles. No one saw her late nights. No one saw her sacrifices. They only see the success. And by then, it's too late to stop her. That's power. Silence protects your energy. Not everyone deserves to know your thoughts. Not everyone deserves access to your journey. Some people pretend to support you while secretly doubting you. Some people smile in your face while waiting for you to fail. And some people, without even realizing it, project their fears onto you. Are you sure that's a good idea? I don't think that's possible. Maybe you should play it safe. And just like that, doubt creeps in. Not because you didn't believe in yourself, but because you let the wrong voices inside your head. Have you ever noticed how people respect those who don't say much? There's something magnetic about a woman who doesn't explain herself, who doesn't overshare, who doesn't feel the need to prove anything. She walks into a room and people can feel her energy. They don't know much about her, but they want to. They don't know her next move, but they wish they did. She carries mystery, and mystery is power. Look at the most successful people in the world. They don't post their every thought. They don't tell everyone what they're working on. They don't explain themselves. They move, they build, and they let their success speak for itself. And yet, too many people today feel the need to document every moment, share every thought, and seek constant approval. But real confidence is knowing you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Think about relationships. The happiest ones are the ones you don't see all over social media. The ones that don't need to prove they're in love. The ones that don't share every argument, every kiss, every moment. Because the truth is, the more you share, the more you invite opinions. And the more opinions you invite, the more energy you allow into your space. And not all energy is good energy. Think about success. The best moves are made in silence. The biggest deals, the biggest opportunities, the biggest transformations happen behind closed doors. Not in the spotlight, not on display for the world to judge. And when the results come, people are shocked. When did she do that? How did she make that happen? That's the power of privacy. That's the power of staying low-key and letting your work speak louder than your words. Some people talk, others do. Be the one who does. Some people seek attention, others seek results. Be the one who seeks results. Some people need constant validation, others validate themselves. Be the one who validates yourself. Because the loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. The real power is in the one who doesn't need to say much, but when she does, the world listens. The people you surround yourself with will either elevate you or destroy you. The difference between a woman who thrives and a woman who struggles is often found in the company she keeps. You can have all the talent in the world, all the ambition, all the potential, but if your circle is filled with jealousy, negativity, and drama, you will be drained before you even reach the starting line. Energy is contagious. And if you're not careful, the wrong people will poison your mind before you even realize it. Look at the most powerful women in the world. Do they surround themselves with gossipers? Do they entertain people who are constantly complaining? Do they waste time with those who are always involved in some kind of drama? No, they build circles that push them forward. They surround themselves with people who inspire, challenge, and empower them. If the people around you are not making you better, they are making you weaker. Think about the girl who always has drama in her life. There's always someone she's fighting with, always someone she's exposing, always a new enemy, a new betrayal, a new crisis. She spends hours arguing over things that don't matter, wasting energy on people who don't deserve it. And the worst part? She starts to become the chaos she surrounds herself with. She wonders why she's always stressed, always emotionally drained, always feeling like the world is against her. But the truth is, the problem isn't the world. It's the company she keeps. Now imagine a different kind of woman. A woman who doesn't entertain nonsense. A woman whose circle is filled with people who think big, who dream big, who push each other to be better. When she speaks, her friends don't gossip, they discuss ideas. When she has a goal, her circle doesn't discourage her. They find ways to help her reach it. When she's struggling, they don't bring her down, they lift her up. That kind of circle is rare, but it's powerful. That kind of circle doesn't just support you, it transforms you. The truth is, the people closest to you are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. If your circle is full of drama, you will always be distracted. If your circle is full of negativity, you will always feel discouraged. If your circle is full of laziness, you will never feel motivated. But if your circle is full of power, of wisdom, of ambition, you will rise higher than you ever imagined. Have you ever noticed that successful people don't waste time explaining themselves? They don't need to. Their circle understands them. Their circle moves in silence, focused on goals, focused on growth. There's no need for petty fights, no need for toxic energy. They're too busy building, too busy succeeding. That's the kind of circle you need. Some women spend years trapped in toxic friendships because they are afraid to be alone. They would rather keep people around who drain them than take the time to find the right ones. But let me tell you something. Being alone for a while is better than being surrounded by the wrong people. It's better to walk alone in the right direction than to be led by a crowd that's going nowhere. You don't owe anyone access to your life. You don't have to keep people around just because of history, just because of loyalty, just because you're afraid of losing them. If someone is bringing negativity into your life, cut them off. If someone is constantly pulling you into drama, walk away. If someone is not pushing you forward, they are holding you back. And you don't have time for that. Surround yourself with women who talk about investments, not other people. Women who discuss books, businesses, and opportunities, not gossip and betrayal. Women who inspire you to be better, who push you to dream bigger, who remind you of your worth when you forget it yourself. That is a circle of power. And when you build that kind of circle, you will not only transform your life, you will become unstoppable. Femininity is not weakness. It is not submission. It is not something to be hidden, diluted, or toned down to make others comfortable. It is power, pure, undeniable, magnetic power. The moment you stop seeing your femininity as something to suppress and start seeing it as your greatest weapon, everything changes. The way you carry yourself changes. The way you command attention without saying a word changes. The way people respond to you changes. Because a woman who owns her femininity owns the world. Look at the women who leave a lasting impact. They don't try to be something they're not. They don't feel the need to act masculine to be taken seriously. They don't dull their shine to fit into spaces that were never designed for them. They walk into a room with elegance, with grace, with an energy so strong that people can feel it before they even speak. That's power. That's a presence you can't fake. Femininity is not about looking pretty. It's about understanding the depth of your influence. A woman who truly understands her feminine energy knows she doesn't need to chase, she attracts. She doesn't need to beg for attention, it naturally gravitates toward her. She doesn't need to force anyone to see her worth. She moves with such certainty that it is undeniable. Some women believe that to be strong, they must reject their femininity, that they must be loud, aggressive, always on defense. But real strength is knowing when to be soft and when to be sharp. Real strength is knowing that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. There is nothing more dangerous than a woman who is both graceful and unshakable, both kind and ruthless, both nurturing and untouchable. Think of the most captivating women in history. What made them unforgettable? It wasn't just their beauty, it was their aura. It was the way they carried themselves with quiet confidence. It was the way they spoke with intention, the way they moved with purpose. The way they never begged for a seat at the table, they made the table theirs. That is what owning your femininity looks like. A woman who owns her femininity knows that her emotions are not a weakness. They are a source of intuition. She listens to the unspoken. She senses what others cannot. She doesn't apologize for her emotions. She harnesses them. While others act impulsively, she moves with wisdom. While others speak without thinking, she observes, waits, and strikes when the time is right. The world tries to tell women that to be respected, they must be harsh, that they must bury their softness, that they must compete like men, that they must always be in warrior mode. But let me tell you something. The most powerful queens in history didn't fight battles with brute strength. They won with strategy, with poise, with an understanding of their influence. They didn't force people to follow them. People wanted to follow them. Owning your femininity means embracing your presence. It means walking into a room and commanding respect without having to demand it. It means knowing when to be silent and when to speak, so that when you do, your words carry weight. It means understanding that true power isn't about overpowering others, it's about mastering yourself. Think about the women who light up a room just by being in it. It's not because they try too hard, it's not because they demand attention, it's because they are in tune with themselves. They are unapologetic about their energy. They don't suppress their natural elegance, their charm, their softness. They know that being feminine doesn't mean being fragile. It means knowing your worth so deeply that nothing and no one can shake you. Your femininity is not a liability, it is your greatest advantage. It is what makes you stand out. It is what makes people listen when you speak, remember you when you leave, and respect you even in your silence. A woman who owns her femininity doesn't chase love, it finds her. She doesn't seek validation. She radiates confidence from within. She doesn't try to prove she is powerful. She simply is. The world will try to mold you, to fit you into a box that makes you easier to control. They will tell you to shrink yourself, to soften your voice, to be less, to want less, to expect less. They will tell you to suppress your fire, to dim your glow, to play small so others feel comfortable. But here's the truth. Greatness was never meant to be quiet. Queens do not ask for permission to rule. Power does not beg to be acknowledged. And you, yes, you were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out. The moment you step into your power, the world shifts. The energy in the room changes when you enter. You don't have to introduce yourself. Your presence speaks before your words ever do. That is the kind of force a woman holds when she stops apologizing for who she is. That is the kind of influence you command when you refuse to shrink for anyone. There is no one like you, and that is your superpower. No one carries your energy. No one possesses your vision. No one possesses the combination of strength, grace, and fire that lives within you. Do you think the most powerful women in history waited for approval? Do you think they asked the world for permission to be great? No. They took up space. They refused to be silenced. They were bold, unstoppable, untouchable, and that is exactly who you can be. The moment you decide you're done playing small. Let them say you've changed. Let them say you're different. Let them whisper that you are too much, too ambitious, too confident, too fearless. Because that is how you know you're finally stepping into your highest self. The version of you that doesn't ask for respect, it is given. The version of you that doesn't settle, it only elevates. The version of you that doesn't wait, it creates, it moves, it conquers. Never again will you lower your standards to be more digestible. Never again will you silence your voice so someone else can feel superior. Never again will you make yourself small to fit spaces that were never meant for you. You are not here to follow, you are here to lead. You are not here to be chosen, you are here to choose. You are not here to be forgotten, you are here to be remembered. Some people won't understand you. Some will fear your power. Some will try to tame the fire that burns inside you. But listen closely. The lioness does not concern herself with the opinions of sheep. And the woman who knows her worth does not waste time explaining it to those who never deserve access to her world. You will rise, and when you do, you will do it loudly. You will take up space, and you will take it unapologetically. You will walk with confidence, speak with certainty, and live with an energy so magnetic that people will wonder how you became so unstoppable. And the answer will be simple. You stopped waiting for permission. They will try to break you, they will test you, they will throw storms in your path, hoping to drown you in doubt. But you are not made of glass. You are made of fire. You do not crumble, you rebuild. You do not fear the storm. You are the storm. Go forward with no apologies. Own your power, own your femininity, own your strength. Walk into every room like you belong there, because you do. Carry yourself like royalty, because you are. And never ever forget this. When a woman realizes her worth, when she finally embraces who she is, without fear, without hesitation, without compromise, she doesn't just change her own life. she changes the world.